What is far enough?
But I don't know. Every time I've done it, I've been in another country.
Yeah.
I know I've been, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if Savannah or, I don't know.
No, she's not that far.
Okay. You can Zoom from home if you're sick.
Okay, but you can't vote, right? There's no voting when you're sick.
Yeah, not when you're sick.
Not when you're sick. I think that happens.
Good evening and welcome to the Spalding Board of Commissioners Extraordinary Session. It is Monday, July 17th at 2023 at approximately 6 p.m. I would request that you please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. And so everybody knows we expect Commissioner Gwen Flowers Taylor to come in she's out of the state, and we expect her to come in, but she's not in yet. At this time, I'd like to request that Commissioner James Dutton from District 2 will deliver the invocation, and Commissioner Ryan Bolden from District 4 will lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Please join me in prayer. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Father, we thank you for the opportunity for being able to come out tonight and enjoy exercising the freedoms that we have in this wonderful country that Thou hast helped us create. Father, please bless us with Thy Spirit tonight, that we can know Thy will and be guided thereby. Father, help us to do what Thou would have us do here in this county. Father, please help those that are unable to attend tonight, those that are otherwise sick or afflicted, our first responders, law enforcement, medical personnel, firemen, and military personnel and their families, that they will be comforted while they're away from their families and be protected and guided back home. Father, we ask all these blessings humbly in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you would, please join me in the pledge of allegiance to our flag.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. For those of you that have not been with us before, what you see on the screen is exactly what the monitors in front of us, so there is absolutely transparency. At this time, presentations of financial statement. Consider approval of the financial statement for the 12 months that ended June 30, 2023. Ms. Garrison.
I'll be happy to try and answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from anybody? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Garrison.
Thanks, Jenna.
Item 5, presentation and proclamations. Consider approval of a proclamation declaring July as National Parks and Recreation Month. Dr. Ledbetter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I would like to read the proclamation. In recognition of Park and Recreation Month, July 1 through 31, 2023, whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Spalding County. And Parks and Recreation promote health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. And Parks and Recreation promote time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit, anxiety disorders, and Alzheimer's disease. And Parks and Recreation encourage physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And Parks and Recreation is a leading provider of healthy meals, nutrition services, and education. And Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical in childhood development. And Parks and Recreation increase a community's economic prosperity through increased poverty values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And Parks and Recreation is fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community and is essential in adaptable infrastructure that makes our communities resilient in the face of natural disaster. and parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and Spalding County recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now therefore be it resolved, the Spalding County Board of Commissioners do hereby recognize the month of July as Park and Recreation Month in Spalding County, Georgia, and urge all citizens to join with government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our parks and recreation professionals. In witness hereof, Chairman Davis hereunto sets his hand and causes the seal of the county to be affixed this the 17th day of July in the year of our Lord, 2023.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All right, Parks and Rec folks, come forward.
We would love for all of our parks and recreation people to come forward. We have a few of them here this evening. Thank you all.
I think they're going to speak first, go. Speak first.
One of you two step forward, you're gonna stand up. All right, matter of fact, just step forward, hold it up, and you stand on either side of me.
How about that?
Okay. All right, you all now reposition around us. All right. Grab hold of front two.
Come on, Ms. Megan.
Go find you. No. Okay. We'll be all right. Each one of you grab hold of the thing. Yeah, there you go.
You should have someplace on your feet and then turn to see it.
Okay. All right, you two. Now, somebody's got to speak.
That would be Kelly. I'll say it. Thank you so much.
Right under the bus, gotta go.
Thank you so much.
Just briefly, because the proclamation says so much of what we do every day, but it's a privilege for our teams of Parks and Leisure Services to serve this community. We serve with pride and commitment, and those we serve are among some of the most vulnerable of our population. We facilitate thousands of volunteers who also freely give their time every day to make life better. Through our essential services, we empower people to thrive. Thank you for the opportunities.
Thank you.
Well done. Item number 2, consider request from T.J. Imberger, Director of Spalding County Parks and Public Works, to present the Parks and Public Works dashboard to the Board of Commissioners. T.J., this is, so everybody knows, the first time we've had a director come forward and present his dashboard. This is a big deal to us, and we've been working on it for well over a year to be able to make a decision. Data-driven decision, excuse me, a little, yes, as we move forward in our county. So with that, TJ.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. It's exciting to be here to present a project that we've been working on for several months. It's important to note that this is one of several that you'll see within the next year. So this is in reference to the dashboard that we did for right-of-way maintenance, specifically cutting of our right-of-ways. You'll see that we currently have over 800 paved roads for 458 miles and 121 dirt roads for 82 miles. Question we get all the time is, what is right-of-way? Right-of-way is measured by starting at the center, and you divide the right-of-way number by 2. So in this particular example right here, gotta go to my other clicker, this is a 33-foot right-of-way. So you'll divide that number by 2, and then you start in the center and you go 16 and a half feet in that direction. So if this was 50, it'd be 25 and so forth. There is no standard right-of-way in Spalding County. Every road is different, even though a lot will be the same. And our right-of-ways range from dirt to dirt, ditch to ditch, or 100 feet. Let me get the right clicker. Well, it was working. There we go. So what we did was we reviewed several counties around us and GDOT's standards for right-of-way maintenance, and you can see that many of them are here. The average is listed here, 6 inches of height, 3 to 4 cycles per year, and major concerns are traffic safety and also actually maintaining within the right-of-way. So why did we do a dashboard? Why are we looking for this data? You'll see several reasons here. The main reason there is to establish a baseline for our standing operating procedures, measure our efficiency, establish daily standards so that our crews could focus on those standards, measure effectiveness. Are we able to compare from crew to crew to see that everything's going good, or that we have some situations we need to deal with, or are we having some crews that need to do better in their standard? We're providing effective recommendations for equipment usage. This is very important as we buy equipment with T-SPLOS funding. We want to make sure that we're very efficient with that new equipment. We're addressing our aging tractor fleet. As you all are familiar, our tractors were bought in the 80s and the 90s. We have about 18 of those left. Better deploy our resources, establish a per mile cost. This way each crew can establish their per mile cost, and we can compare those to see what standard we are living by and to make sure that we're upholding that standard. Develop daily supervisor and employee talking points. The dashboard is being used on a daily basis for those to communicate with each other. Develop training methods, and then to constantly improve. And that's one of the main things we've seen, is that we've had constant improvement as we move through this. How did we do this? How did we come up with our standard on our dashboard? First of all, we had everybody participating, all of our personnel, of course myself, administration. We did multiple scenarios. We developed those in relationship to personnel and equipment. We moved equipment around. We moved personnel around. We tried different numbers. We tried different routes. We used older equipment in comparison to our newer equipment. And then we did several on-site visitations, so we were seeing if what we were doing was actually working. This is the summary of the dashboard. So all of our right-of-way crews, their data is fed into this particular summary sheet. And what you'll see here is it gives several really good numbers. The yellow is our standard at this time for cycles of mowing our right-of-way. You'll also see crew names right here in this column. You'll also see what their weekly goals are so that they know how many miles they need to be cutting per week. This is a summary of all the crews in one so that everybody can see that very easily. It also shows how many miles total that we should be maintaining. When we go to the chart, our baseline of our goal to get 3 cycles is this red line. The blue is representing each week that we're actually performing. And then this yellow box that's either that we're meeting that goal, or that we're increased week over week, or we've decreased week over week. In addition to this, we have individual crew dashboards. So the crews are able to see their progress on a weekly basis. This is shared to them with the supervisor. We try to make it very simplistic so we can see where our problems are. You'll see here, this Metro crew's got red. The top box is what they did the week prior. The bottom box is where do we stand throughout the year. So even if you may get behind for a particular reason that week, you may still be ahead for the year. What you're going to see here is a lot of red. That's because these are 2 crews. One of these officers has been out on medical leave. So we have one officer performing both of these jobs. That becomes very evident when you look at the dashboards. This is where we start with our hand crews and our tractor crews. Once again, we see that there's a vacancy is why we have these double reds over here. You can also see that that crew that week before on the tractor side, they weren't as efficient that week, but we are quite ahead for the year. So we're still on line to get our cycles in for that year. This, once again, points out vacancies. So we can see where our areas are week to week so that our supervisors can move those resources around as necessary. But you can see that this tractor crew right here does extremely well. So what we've been doing is that way we can go see what is that crew doing, why are these numbers so high. And then this is where it works as it all should. We have 2 employees, 2 detail officers. There's no vacancies here. There's no medical leave situations. And you can see when that happens, our numbers are being hit very consistently. This is our side cutter. Oh, go back one. Let's see, back one. It also, another thing we're looking at here is we're getting a cost per mile. What does it cost us to mow a mile of right-of-way? What's interesting, I'm half blind, so I think that says $76 or $86. When we started this 5 months ago, that cost was $148. So we've cut that cost in half just by paying attention to what we're doing, looking at the data, and rearranging how our crews are operating. You'll also see throughout all the dashboards that these numbers per mile are very consistent with $10 to $15 of each other. So that shows our crews too that they're online and that they're doing something right. This is our side cutter, so that's the tractor with the big arm on it. It's not only a linear cutter, but it also cuts up in the air 12 feet. It's a very slow process. You can see that by the miles that we're doing. We're averaging about 3 to 4 miles per week. What's interesting there is what that costs. So you can see here that it's $1,200 per mile to use that machine. I think that will be very interesting in future budgets to compare that to like a contract basis, so we actually know if we would be saving money or not.
Yeah.
So the dashboards are reviewed in multiple ways. Every Friday night, the dashboards are printed out by admin. They're sent to myself. Then they're sent to the supervisor. On Monday, the supervisor will analyze those dashboards. They'll be able to go see if they have to see anything in the field. And then what happens is Monday evening, the crews are actually receiving their dashboards. They're each receiving one, and then the supervisor can discuss that dashboard particularly with them. The other thing we're doing is we're advertising these dashboards inside of our buildings. So this here is in our war room where everybody gets their daily routines and tasks. And then this is actually displayed here in our admin area. This is also allowing all the other employees to see what progress we're making. Even though it's not their particular crew, they're starting to see the benefits of dashboards. And then we have a couple quotes. These are real quotes. This is from one of our detail officers. It helps me keep up with my miles, and I'm assigned to cut and meet my assigned goals. And then the bottom one is from a supervisor. This is in reference to some new equipment we bought that you'll see here shortly. We should have considered utilizing these mowers years ago. I think those are very powerful statements. So what are we looking for? We've discussed some of those items. Have we been cutting off the right-of-way? This has actually been a really big item that we've discovered. Unfortunately, we've been doing the same thing the same way for a while, 50, 60 years. You'll see shortly, this is one thing we discovered. We've been actually cutting off of our right-of-way. So you'll see that that's going to present us with a tremendous savings as we've made those adjustments over the last couple of weeks. Are we utilizing our equipment correctly in reference to the T-Splosh purchases? Can crew size be reduced? Can personnel be redistributed to increase effectiveness and efficiency? So if we're being more efficient in our right-of-way crews, can we cut more grass with less people? Actually, we are finding that out. So can we redistribute those folks instead of coming here asking you for more people? I could redistribute those on our own.
Good.
What is the realistic goal for adding additional cycles per year? So right now our goal is 3. So what will our cycles be next year? We're going to have more, but how many more will we have? And then what new standards are we creating? So every day we're able to adjust to this and create standards that make us more efficient. So here's our new workflow that we're using in our departments now. We start out with data input from our crews in the field. We're creating our dashboards. From there, the ultimate goal, of course, is decrease cost, but we're also increasing production. Then we move over and taking all that information, we're improving our resources, and then we're able in the field with our employees to start that cycle back over again. This is the workflow that we're going to be adhering to from now on. So what does that really mean? What is the real data-driven results to these decisions? This is real world. This is our yellow tractors that are 20, 30, 40 years old. These are our new equipment. So in this top reference here, we've taken 8 of our old tractors, 8 inmates, 2 officers, and we've now are doing it with 2 of our new tractors. We're actually going to be experimenting with ZTRs to do the trimming. We're working on that right now. 2 inmates, 2 officers. These are real life numbers that are proven by the dashboards. Our other third crew, we have 4 of the older tractors, 1 officer, 4 inmates, and then we'll be moving. The last couple of years we've been buying some new tractors, so we'll be able to use just the new tractors, 3 inmates and 1 officer. What that means is in the next couple of weeks or at the next meeting or 2, you'll get a request where I'm going to ask to surplus every single old tractor that we have. And it'll all be brand new and efficient.
Wow. Nice.
So we had to establish some new standards from the information that we saw and what we've seen and the numbers we've gathered. That new standard is now called Safety, Visibility, and Sight Distance. This is the SVS standard. We'll apply this standard to all of our right-of-ways, how we maintain and cut those. S is for safety. Is the right-of-way safe? Visibility. Can we maintain visibility of signs, lines, mailboxes, and other obstacles? And then sight distance. Sight distance refers to when you're in an intersection, can you see the intersection? When you're coming out of your driveway, can you see when you're coming out? So here's some examples of how we have been applying this and how we will be applying this. All right, so in this example, the red line is what we've been doing forever, 50 years. What you'll notice here is that the blue line actually represents the county's right-of-way. What we have found is that we've been cutting off of the right-of-way. In this particular situation, this is a real example, it's over twice as much. So in the new cutting limit, we are going to stop at our right-of-way. So here's these are all real examples from our roads. You can see here our right-of-way actually goes to the wood line. However, when we apply the new SVS standard, we have a ditch here, we have a slope going up to the wood line. We don't need to cut this part anymore because it doesn't affect SVS. So our new cutting limit will be to the ditch line. Now in the next slide you'll see, does that mean we're going to completely stop maintaining this? No, but we'll just get to it when we can because it's not a safety factor anymore.
Well, that ditch, are we just not going to maintain? Don't
Yeah,
have to
we'll
the ditches?
maintain to the ditch, and it's just the slope part here.
But I mean, I'm saying the ditch itself. Like if it gets overgrown, all that water that flows in that ditch when it rains.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
All ditches will need to maintain the flow. I was speaking of like this part next to the wood line here.
The uphill
Yes,
slope. Yeah,
yes, sir, and I'm sorry for the confusion. Here's another example applying the new standard. See, our right-of-way is at the bottom of this hillside with a very steep slope. If we used to cut all the way to the bottom there, our new SVS standard will be to the top of the road. This is the flat portion, as this portion does not affect any of our standards. We'll maintain as needed, so that could be a year, every year and a half. We're also going to see that some of these areas are actually in utility right-of-ways, which means the utility companies are coming through anyways every year, year and a half. So the utility companies may actually do some of our work here in the future. Another application, you'll see here the right-of-way goes down to the bottom of the slope. Once again, this area is a little bit bigger because we had to meet our SVS standard, but the portion down at the bottom of the slope will be maintained only as needed. Good dirt roads, almost all of our dirt roads, there are a few exceptions. The right-of-way is from ditch to ditch. So it's the back of the ditch to the back of the ditch. One thing that we're already doing is we're already spraying our dirt roads. This has actually been very effective. This year it's been not as effective because we haven't been able to keep up with all the rain. We've had perfect weed growth conditions. So we've been behind a little bit because of that. But you'll also see here an example of our side cutter. So side cutter works on both paved roads and dirt roads. You see that they're going to do the areas on the side of the roads, and then they're going to go to a height of 12 feet. But this will be the standard for all of our dirt roads. It's another example of applying SVS. In this situation here, you can see we've already cut the right side of the guardrail. This part behind here, we will maintain as needed. These areas are most likely also to be maintained by utilities.
So we were actually going behind that rail and cutting?
We were, yes, ma'am. So at some point we will, there are situations where we'll have to, and of course I'm not going to have the guardrail get buried, so
Right.
we'll pay attention to that. But on every single cut, no ma'am, we won't be doing that anymore.
Okay.
All right, here's our new mower. One of the two that we bought with T-Splost. What you're going to notice is it's a 14-foot cut. And this is a real live example of SVS. We did this 2 days ago. You can see, first of all, you'll see that our mowers are different now. This is what we call flail mower. So we're not using bush hogs, we're not using rotary mowers. What that does is that there's actual knives in there that are rotating like a barrel. So that's cutting as it's going around. No longer will it fling stuff out. We won't be breaking windshields. You could also see that we could take that mower, ride the white line, and since it's at a 6-inch height, those blades are actually going above the road without touching the road. So I'm getting a 14-foot cut here with one pass. This used to take us 4 tractors and multiple passes and back and forth. So we have 2 of these at this time. Just looks cool to watch it, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only are we working on the right-of-way stuff, the right-of-way stuff is going very, very well. You can see that we've gotten pretty far with that dashboard. We're obviously always going to be updating it as we see stuff. What we also have here is dashboards that we're working on with our solid waste division. These are for the illegal trash crew that we have. So this is the crew that goes out and picks up the sofas or the trash in the big bags. When you all call me and say, hey, somebody threw out the Christmas tree or whatever. This is the crew that does this. So we've started on this. We're not complete, but what you're going to see here is on the left-hand side, each one of those numbers is a work order. That's telling you how much stuff we're picking up in that particular work order. So we list bulky stuff by individual items. We list bags of trash by bags. And then if we have other larger things or multiple items, we'll list it by cubic yards so that you're able to see exactly what that work order entailed us picking up. The other side of the chart, the right-hand side, is once again, we're showing the items that we're picking up. So the blue's bags, the brown's going to be some type of bulky item like a couch. What's different about this is that we have calculated what it costs to pick up. What does it cost to go out there? What does it cost to pick up one couch? What does it cost for us to dispose of it? And that's what you're seeing over here in the right-hand side. All of these dots for a day are individual work orders. So you can see sometimes it just costs us $10 or $20, or sometimes it could cost us a couple $100. What's interesting there and what we're going to be working towards is that we have a goal now to pick up and handle that work order within a couple days. What we're finding out is take a look at like this work order right here on the top there. That's a couple $100, and it could be for one item. Where is that item? Am I going all the way from one side of the county to the other to pick that up? Can we be more efficient by doing it in sectors and saying a portion of the county will do on Tuesdays and a portion will do on Wednesdays? So we're going to be taking this, not only refining what you see here, but also refining when we go out to pick those items up, so that I could take that cost. If I was doing that when I was doing some of these others and they're in the same side of the county, I could decrease that by well over a half, because I'm sharing the same truck, the same personnel, the same run, and we think we'll be saving a lot of money when we do that.
Does it matter that, notice that that date is May 31st, it being a holiday? Does that even matter as far as the dates? I mean, is that a big deal? Because I'm noticed that's where you've got the, where you're talking about that line with the high, where it costs more hundreds of dollars there?
Well, I
There's a
got it
date.
where I don't have it where I could read it here. So
I'm looking at the date.
not as familiar with that date. If it's May 31st, it could have been something that we done that day because we had to. I'm not familiar.
I just didn't know if it was because of.
And then solid waste actually works some holidays because
Okay.
our collection centers are open.
All right.
So I could look into, I have a work order number there. I could look into that for
I
you.
just wondered, it's just significantly higher, so it falls on a
It
holiday.
would be
so.
neat to like be able to track, right after this date,
Mm-hmm.
every year we get a lot, and then liaise with the sheriff's department and be like, hey, like, here's where people typically dump, and we sort of know ahead of time. It's hard for them to just sit around and like
Well, I just think it's interesting.
wait and hope that. But like if you could track
After
that,
holiday.
you know what I mean, and go like, oh hey, this weekend, watch out, they're about to, or this Monday or Tuesday after
Right,
the weekend,
right.
Like if they're gonna. The guys that are on call, have them hang out near these places. They might run into these folks. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
That'd be
absolutely
neat.
something we could do.
just
What we've
noticed
done is we've applied that method to a lot of what we call our hotspots. So a lot of our hotspots have gone from stuff every day or stuff every week to stuff just every couple of months, because we've been hitting those on a routine. So some folks who throw out trash, they don't like it when you pick it up because you're responding right away. So we've been eliminating a lot of our trash.
It'll just be interesting to see what the July numbers look like.
Yes,
Just to see, just curious.
We will definitely have those for you. And then, I gotta get to the right clicker. This is what's happening now in our shop. We've actually moved software programs to what we call Fleetio. So all of our equipment and our vehicles that we maintain are now on this particular software program. What you see here, this dashboard that tells the status of the vehicles, what's waiting for parts, what's waiting to be repaired. Are we going on time, like the green says, or are we not going on time? This is being displayed in our shop areas now, both in the admin, in their office area, and then where all the work is being done. So that our shop staff now is working via work orders, but also via a physical and visible description of what is happening live. So this was actually taken just a couple days ago. I just did a screenshot of it. So this has got a long way to go because there's so much information that we could derive from this. But our shop has switched to where they're working on work orders and they're looking individual work orders at a time to make sure that stuff is getting out quickly. Our field employees are actually putting in their daily checks or their work orders through the same system. They're able to monitor this as well. So if our supervisors or a crew wants to know, well, why is it taking so long to get something fixed? Well, there's probably a reason. Now, that reason could either be waiting on a part, and that could be described very easily, or maybe something was missed. And then that way they're able to go and inquire, and we're actually moving stuff out of the shop a lot quicker. So this is our new direction that we're going to be heading next year or so, well, I guess forever. We're taking our data, and then when you apply that data and then you add our staff and our ideas coming from our staff, what we're seeing is a very big savings. So we know that that's going to continue, and we're actually working this process now, all of our employees, on a daily basis. You'll be seeing these dashboards in all of the divisions that we do, so parks and solid waste, and they'll be coming from every area that we're performing. So that's what's ahead. Open for any questions?
I'm
I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Yes.
That's kind of a home run hit you just did, as far as I'm concerned. From where we were on talking about trying to do data to make decisions off of to where you are now. So really well done. Thank you, DJ. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Great.
We've come a long way, but we also have a long way to go. So.
Your peers may not think it did so well because there's now have a high standard that they've got to jump over.
Well, I know one of them's in the back of the room, and me and him had a really good conversation this afternoon, and we're taking change on together for the better of the citizens. So there's a lot more to come.
Who? Other
What's the cost of the system?
Cost
Of the software?
of doing dashboards?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, we're not.
So we're doing that off of
renting that
Excel.
or-
Off
Oh,
of
okay.
Excel.
Yeah.
Put it
So,
out.
so we do have a work order system that we've had for multiple years.
Sure.
What we've been doing is working directly with that vendor, and we've actually been making it easier for our staff to put in work orders. That was one of the problems. It was cumbersome. And we're making that easier every day so that we're just getting the information that we need, and we've eliminated a lot of the duplication. With Fleetio, it's really like pennies a day with our equipment, but everything that goes to a dashboard that you see, it goes to a pivot table, it comes from Excel. So we are training like our admin folks in more expert type Excel stuff, and then we've had a lot of assistance with Joseph Johnson as well. So yeah, the real answer is nothing.
So, Steve, I remember you talking about this, you brought this to us at the beginning of the year with the retreat, and we were moving most of the departments to that area. Are we navigating, I know TJ's got his presentation, are we still navigating all the departments in this direction?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am, we are.
all right.
In fact, it's a regular conversation that we have at our Monday morning staff meetings to discuss dashboards. TJ was the first one to bring his dashboard forward, and our other departments will be coming on a regular basis.
Okay.
This is the first that you will see on a regular basis at our Board of Commissioners meetings
Good.
as we present each of our department dashboards.
Good. Very good.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. All right, thank you, DJ.
Thank
We
you, TJ.
appreciate
Great
it.
job.
Item number 6, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topics they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your remarks to the board and not to individual members or to the audience. Personal disagreements with the individual members or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the members during the citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend the rule. Dr. Ledbetter, do we have anybody to speak tonight?
Mr. Chairman, no one has signed up to speak this evening.
Thank you. We do that to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to come and speak to the board at any time that they wish to. If they can't speak here, when and where can they speak? And this is the time. Item number 7, minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners regular meeting on June 5, 2023. The Spalding County zoning public hearing and executive session on June 22nd, 2023. The Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting on June 27th, 2023. And the Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting on July 6th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. All the minutes are approved. Item number 8, consent agenda. I will read the 3 items under consideration for the consent agenda, and the board can vote on these items as a whole or should there be a need to discuss any of these items individually, the board will vote on the remaining items and then discuss the items in questions prior to the vote on that item. Item number 1, consider the approval of the 2023 new alcohol license application for retail sale of beer and wine for the following: Royal 76 LLC, owned by Thrasher Patel, located at 2790 East McIntosh Road, Griffin, Georgia, that has no violations. Consider the approval of the 2023 new alcohol license wholesale dealer for beer and wine, in addition to existing liquor wholesale. Terry Briggs, Santera, 413A, Odell Industrial Park, Griffin, Georgia 30224, no violations. Item number 3, consider request from the Region 4 EMS Council to reappoint Glenn Polk and appoint Brian Mitchell, City of Griffin EMS Coordinator, to the council for the 3-year term ending June 30, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve all 3?
Motion to approve all 3 on the consent agenda.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motions, those 3 motions carry. Item 9, new business. Consider a request from the Macon Trax Travel Club to make an out-of-state trip in the motor coach. Dr. Ledbetter.
I would turn it over to Ms. Carmichael.
Good evening. It is our policy when the motor coach is taken out of state to have their request come before you. Macon Trax Travel Club is requesting a 1-day trip to Wetumpka, Alabama. You have the application before you. It meets all the requirements, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
What's in Wetumpka?
It is Wind Creek Casino.
Okay,
It's an Indian casino.
okay, we understand. All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second, all right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Thank you, Kelly, appreciate it.
No, this won't be the first time that the motor coach has been taken out, right?
Oh, no.
That's correct.
Okay.
Item number 2, consider request from Superior Court Judge Fletcher Sams, and I think Judge Thacker is here, to approve contracts with Liberty Technology for updating the technology in 3 courtrooms at the Spalding County Courthouse. Judge Sams?
All right, Mr.
Judge
Commissioner
Thacker?
and Commissioners, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, thank y'all for the opportunity. Earlier this year, the Supreme Court of Georgia changed the uniform rules regarding virtual courtrooms. And in courtrooms 3 and 4 in our courthouse, we are not in compliance. Judge Thacker in state court on the second floor courtroom is in full compliance with a wonderful system that works well. About the same time I was trying to muster up the courage to approach y'all for financing the upgrades to those 2 courtrooms, the ARPA committee for the state changed the availability of funds and made them open for technology improvements to courtrooms. So knowing that, I went ahead and solicited input from Liberty Tech and others for the upgrades to bring the other 2 courtrooms into compliance with Judge Thacker's second floor courtroom. Also, we're building or finishing out a courtroom in the jail, and also for that. And so we applied for ARPA grants for that, and those were approved this year. And you got copies, I think, of the proposals from Liberty Tech. They total $335,561. This is a reimbursement grant, and it's for this calendar year only. So the contracts with Liberty Tech have to be finalized. They have to order the parts and complete it before the end of the year, at which time you can apply for reimbursement from the ARPA committee and get fully reimbursed later. So it comes out washing even. But in
We like those.
But in recognition of the fact that we know Spalding County took a tremendous hit with the tornadoes this year and had to expend a lot of your cash resources probably have not been reimbursed fully by GEMA or FEMA, whoever.
You're correct.
We have met with the library committee. The board has met, and we have some funds that
That's
we
the
would
law
like
library.
to advance.
Okay.
We would like to share not only in the fronting of these funds, but we would like to also share in the reimbursement from ARPA, so that y'all and the committee, or the board of the library are all fully compensated.
Let's make sure everybody understands, we're talking about the law library
Right.
as opposed to the.
Okay.
Yes, the law.
Yeah, excuse me, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. So we have $150,000 in funds that we have by resolution of the Law Library Board are offering to use that through y'all to help front the funding of this project, with the understanding that when fully reimbursed, y'all will simply allow us to be also reimbursed fully by the ARPA committee. And it's that simple.
Okay.
So, having used all the technology in all the courtrooms, more often than anyone except the judges probably, Josh's courtroom, Judge Thacker's courtroom is a model that they have used across the state. It is unbelievable how well that technology works in there. And where I think, in a lot of ways, we're sort of a victim of our own success. That's probably why they changed the uniform rules, because Judge Thacker's courtroom works so well. Now they're going to make everybody else come up to that
And I
standard,
might
so.
add that as chief judge of the circuit, I'll be requiring Judge Thacker to train the other judges.
No good deed.
Which I have agreed to do, and yes, I am sorry about that. I did give several presentations on how during COVID, we were able to keep working, not at full speed, but at a sufficient speed to keep our backlog from becoming overwhelming, because we
Yeah.
did so much virtual. We had people report from Costa Rica, somebody reported from one of the oil barges in the middle of nowhere in the Gulf.
Wow.
I mean, we were able to do, and we can handle any combination of virtual and in-person
Yeah.
participants in any type of thing. Haven't done a virtual jury trial yet, but I don't think I'm allowed to.
We're now doing virtual pleas from the state penitentiaries all over the state, and we actually isolated one case where it cost over $2,500 to do 2 round trips to get the person here and then to take him back. It cost the county $2,500, and so every time we can do a virtual of that, we're saving thousands of dollars for the county.
And let me tell you, there's 5 or 6 of those on every calendar. So, I mean, the amount that this could save on the back end. Plus, it expedites the court calendar. And what that means is people get justice quicker. And justice delayed is justice denied. And this will actually help relieve a lot of that tension and backup.
The
And,
backlog.
this guy's not here, we can't hear him. If we upgrade that system, we can move through these and, you know,
And
That's
with the
very
help-
important.
With the help of the Law Library Committee, the Law Library Board would be fronting, I think, 45%, and the county 55%, if my math is correct.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion?
And all that's accounted for, Steve, right? Okay.
All right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges,
Thank
we
y'all for your
appreciate it.
continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Thacker, for being such a model in the courtroom over there.
It's my pleasure. I love my job. Thank you for
Good.
letting me have it.
And we love having you. Item number 3, consider approval of contracts with Jukes Law Firm to represent indigent care clients in the Spalding County State Court and the Spalding County Court, Juvenile Court.
And-
Dr. Ledbetter?
I have to recuse myself from this. I work in that courtroom, so this is sort of like picking my competition, so I'm recusing myself from this vote. So,
You're not required to.
I
It's
know
a
I'm not
conflict.
required to, but
It is not a conflict.
but I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water.
Okay, go do that.
So at our last Board of Commissioner meeting, we did present to you the recommendation of staff and our law partners to use Jukes Law Firm for indigent care. That bid was awarded by you. This time, we are bringing the contract to you for consideration. The contract has been reviewed by county attorney, and we are making recommendation that the Board of Commissioners approve the contract as written for us to utilize Jukes Law Firm for indigent care.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I approve the motion for the contract to be approved as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 3-0, motion carries. Item number 4, consider approval of agreement with Keefe Commissary Network, LLC, KCN, for prepaid debit cards to be used for ATM withdrawals and/or pen-based and signature purchases after inmate validation at the Spalding County Correctional Institute. Hello, Warden.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good, good.
Good.
You?
Very good, very good. This is basically a safety and security issue for us. The vendor is providing us with debit cards. In the past, we have written a check, given it to the inmate, or written a check and cashed the inmate's funds out of his trust fund and given them to him upon his release. We've had several cases, not us, but at other facilities where they are taking the check, whitewashing them, and opening up our checking account, so to speak.
Coming back to see you again.
Coming back to see us again. This basically eliminates that. We give them their funds on a debit. It's no cost to us at all.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I like no cost.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries. Thank you, Warden. This is a great idea, I believe. Item number 5, consider approval of the FY 2024 Area Agency on Aging contract for services with Three Rivers Regional Commission. This is an annual requirement for us to do this, right?
It is.
All
Yes,
right. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yeah, we're required to.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
And I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
It's always disturbs me when they give us something to vote on that we have to vote on. Like, don't make me vote on stuff I have to do. Like,
We want what they
bothers me.
do.
I'm just saying, you know.
Yes. All right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval of a revised Henry County inmate contract for services with the Spalding County Correctional Institute. There's Warden again.
Hello again. Basically, it's the same contract. We're just changing the amount for the charges, and it's based on the change of our budget for our FY '24 budget. So
Okay.
we just adjusted the amount to accommodate the actual cost for us.
For
the inmates
inflation and
staff,
stuff like
yes.
that. Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Okay,
What's the change? It's 18.9 now.
18,900, right?
What was it?
It's,
Like, how much is it
it
going
was 20, I think, just a tad over 22.
Wait, the cost went down?
It did.
It went down,
It's
yes.
a reduction.
We reduced our inmate population by
84.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah, we got less people to do it. All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion with the warden? All right, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you.
Item number 10, report of the county manager.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Board of Commissioners. One of the things that I want to make sure that we continually update you on is, well, that says colon instead of cooling stations. And
Yeah.
I will make that change, is to ensure that we have one of our department heads come before you each time we meet from this point forward with our dashboards so that we can showcase how we're performing and be extraordinarily transparent with how we service our community. I also want to give kudos to Director Emberger for being the first one to showcase his dashboard. I think he did a great job for us. His comment this morning was actually very encouraging. He stated that a year ago he would not have been in a position to ask or answer the questions that he asked and answered this evening. And he said, one of the things that I've learned from this journey is that the question you ask today will be different from the question you ask next year. And that's just absolutely wonderful that our teams are using these dashboards to ask and answer the questions that they need to ask and answer for you as representatives of our community, but also to present it back to the community so that the community can understand what we have in service to them. Very proud of him this evening. Also want to share with you about the cooling stations and then the T-Splost and some of the information that we gleaned from our tax assessors update. And then finally, I want to share with you that Chief Polk will be in attendance at our next meeting on August the 7th to share what the progress and the updates are from our GMA and FEMA applications that we presented to them for reimbursement from the tornadoes back in January. So we can move forward. First, I want to give you an update on our T-Splost. The information that you have in front of you actually should be very familiar. This was one of the slides that came from Kirby Sisk and David Johnson back a little over 2 years ago as we were preparing to present the T-Splost referendum for consideration to the voters. One of the things that I want to highlight is the $31.2 million for the resurfacing and the sidewalk, along with the replacement of what then was Big Blue. And then down on the bottom is our Tier 2 projects at $6.5 million for equipment in dirt road improvement areas. So a total of $37.7 million. We can go to the next slide, please. So the first year collections, we are seeing a 9% over what we expected for the monies coming in. So from July 1st until June of this year, the county has received $8.296 million of revenue for our T-Splost. That's actually really good news for us. Both last year and this year, we were able to do resurfacing for less money than we expected. So last year was a little over $7 million. This year is a little over $7 million, and we're still bringing in $8.2 million in revenue for the 1 cent sales tax at the register for our transportation special local option sales tax. What that has afforded us the opportunity to do is to make those purchases under the Tier 2 projects in support of our community. So some of the equipment that TJ talked about earlier this evening, so the tractor with the flail mower that we're able to cut 14 feet off of the roadway, that is a Tier 2 equipment project that is actually supporting us moving forward. The mastic machine, where we're able to take care of the potholes in our roads that we have a litany of across our community right now because of the overweights for the trucks that are coming through. That piece of equipment was also paid for under this program through the overage. Really happy that we're able to do a lot more with the monies that we have been afforded for our transportation special local option sales tax. I'm also very thankful that we were able to secure the company C.W. Matthews for resurfacing for this year's projects. So last year we did 22.17 miles of resurfacing and striping for our roads. This year we're on schedule to do 23 miles for resurfacing and striping of our roads, utilizing the thermoplastic for the striping, so the visibility and the safety issues are all being baked into our T-Splost projects moving forward. I'm really happy with where we're going. I'm happy with the numbers that are coming in, and I feel like we are on track to complete the 100 miles of roadways that we have listed on our T-Splost projects by the end of this first T-Splost special local option sales tax. So kudos to the team for keeping up with us there. Okay.
Well done, well done.
Our neighborhood comfort cooling stations, the team put this out. Thank you, DeAndre, for putting this out today. Effective immediately, our Bucks Community Center at 1110 High Falls Road will be open Monday through Friday from 12 to 6 and on Saturdays from 10 to 5. In the Flint River Regional Library at 800 Memorial Drive, open Monday and Thursday 9 to 9, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday from 9 to 6. Those two locations are open for this week because we are expecting some extremely high temperatures. Please come in out of the heat, gain some cool air, and don't suffer from the challenges of being heat adverse over the next few weeks. Effective July 22nd, so Friday, Fairmont Community Center at 251 Blanton Street in Griffin, Monday through Friday, 12 to 6, and Saturday from 10 to 5, along with City Park Community Center, Kemp Northern Road, Griffin, Monday through Friday, 12 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 5. Please come in out of the heat, okay? Beat the Heat. So this is our annual event for our kids to come out and enjoy a little bit of splash padding, if you will. The date is July the 29th from 12 to 2. This year it's at again, it's over at the Carver Road Fire Station at 600 Carver Road. Come out and enjoy family fun, water hose, fire trucks, food and games. We're gonna have another good time out there. Thanks to DeAndre and the fire department for putting this on.
Nice.
Okay. I do want to share with you some information that we received from the Spalding County tax assessors. The total number of appeals filed for this digest year are sitting at 1,238. That's 3.74% for the year. Spalding County Board of Assessors has received that many as of today. The number of appeals now exceeds 3%. The county parcels and the board will be granted an additional 180-day period to make its appeal determinations and notify the taxpayers per that particular statute in Georgia law. The deadline to file an appeal is this Thursday, July the 20th, and the current trend indicates that we will see between 1,350 and 1,400 appeals. Georgia law does recognize that it creates a little bit of a stress for our team that's at the tax assessor's office, and that's why we have that additional 180 days. But those are the numbers. The team is pushing through very diligently, and they feel confident that we will be able to move forward with our digest this year rather quickly. In fact, the question was asked this morning during our staff meeting to both the tax assessor and the tax commissioner when we would be moving forward with the tax bills for this year, and they both feel confident that we will be on time this year for our tax bills. Okay,
Commissioner Flowers Taylor has joined the meeting.
awesome, thank you.
Welcome, Commissioner Flowers Taylor.
And Mr. Chairman, that is all of my update for this evening unless the board has questions for me.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Johnson.
Doesn't have anything over there? Nothing? Okay. Really wanted to commend TJ once again on the presentation on the dashboard. You know, it's just a level of accountability that, as a department head, I'm sure that he appreciates it there. He's leading on to his team. And, you know, basically, it makes the push for another T-Splost a lot simpler, I would think, moving forward because of the data that they're showing and the work that they're doing and the savings that they're doing. So again, it kind of puts it in front of the community to let them know that we are working on their behalf. And if we continue to do these type of SPLOST projects, T-Splost, then, you know, it's a good thing for our community. Definitely want to make sure that I get that in. I noticed that Big Blue is out in front of Public Works. Is that a reason for that? The old Big Blue?
The old Big Blue is out in front of Public Works because you listed it as a surplus item and
So
it's
that's
up
where
for
it's
sale.
put there. Okay,
Yes,
I've noticed that for a while. Any movement on that or anything?
more to come at the August 7th meeting.
Okay, all right, good. I got a chance to go to the community, Fairmont Community Development Center, Community Center, for the Career Day for the kids. I'm sure y'all probably saw that on Facebook. So I'd kind of like to encourage you all at some point. It's a very good center that they have there, and the schooling is wonderful. They had several kids over there having a good time, learning a whole lot. I got a chance to kind of tell them who I am as far as being a commissioner and also a State Farm agent. So I just encourage all of you, if you would, make some time, if not this summer, maybe next summer, to do that career day for them. I know they really appreciate it. They had lots of questions. They were very thankful for the work that we put in on their behalf. The staff is great, and so I'd like to make a push for you all to do that.
Ah, good, thank you.
All I have to say.
Okay.
Mr. Ledbetter, who is our new supervisor at the animal shelter?
I will let you know tomorrow when she starts.
Okay. Because I just seen that in an email earlier, and I didn't know we had somebody starting yet. I just seen the numbers with the appeals. You said 3.74, a little over 1,200 people. I'm for the people. It's kind of sickening to not see more people appealing than what they are. As many emails as I've received and phone calls I've received about the tax increase and inflated values. I mean, this is their opportunity to fight, and they're not taking the opportunity. You got till Thursday. I mean, so I don't want to hear nothing else about it after that. This is your chance to fight. I'm fighting mine. You need to fight yours.
Okay.
That's all I got to say on that.
Okay.
No, I agree. Grumbling and complaining, that's not how we work in a representative democracy. Like, go and appeal. There's a way. If you think that your tax assessment is too high, appeal it. My firm does those for folks in Henry and Coweta. Like, it's definitely a thing. I want to talk about how awesome the 4th of July parade was.
Yep.
I thought we had a really, really, really good event, really well attended. The people really came out. There was a lot of people watching the parade. I was really excited about that, even in the heat. We've done awards. I'm going to get DeAndre to announce the awards as soon as I send you an email about it. And then I think there were more people than last time, and so every year so the word's kind of getting out, and it's really building. And it being back downtown, I think is a big deal.
Yes.
I think that's a big deal.
I agree.
So 2 weekends ago, my family and I, with our resident splash pad experts, my 2 children, went to Greenville, South Carolina. Their county has not just 3 splash pads, but like 3 like water parks, like pool plus, big towers with slides coming off of them, and one of them even had a lazy river. And was able to tell the folks that were working it for the county, hey, this is who I am, this is who I'm, we're kind of coming up here exploring. And so they took me behind the scenes, walked me through it, showed me their numbers, and were like, and if you want us to come down and give you some best practices on your splash pads, let me know. Absolutely, anytime. I said, well, look, we were hit by tornadoes, so we're not nearly there yet. But right now we're at the, hey, let's look and see what we're gonna do and plan, but we're not at pull the trigger yet. And they said, they built 3, but they did them one after each other. It was about 5 years, I want to say, between. And so they made some mistakes in the first one, and then they tried to correct them, and a lot of them they corrected, but then some they were like, well, we'll try this new system, and it turned out to be worse than this one. So then the third, they kind of were able to, keep honing in. Now, of course, there's, I want to say it was like $15, $14, and $13 to get in to the their little water parks, and it's it's a pool and a couple slides on a tower. One had a flow rider, like one of the surf simulators, and they were able to say, hey, don't get a surf simulator. Like, it's way too expensive. It breaks all the time. It's one kid at a time. But then they said, hey, here's, these splash pads. This is how, these are great. They're the best return on investment as far as that goes. They could accommodate up to 800 people at a time. On the Thursday we were there, and of course they're only open Labor Day to Memorial Day, or Memorial Day to Labor Day. The day we were there, the one park had seen over 860 people come and go. Like, that's how many entrance fees they had charged. And because of their, there's no outside food, so you have to buy the food. They just bring in pizza and then sell it for $17 a pizza. But just like my family, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, this is what we're eating lunch at. They had made $12,000 that day, and it was like a Thursday. And they said all totaled, their 3 net something like $1.5 million positive for the county every year. But 2 of them aren't. The one makes all the money, and the other 2 kind of get subsidized by the one. So, but they're also much, much larger county. I mean, they were literally 45 minutes from each other in the same county. So if they only had the one, you know what I mean? That one turned over somewhere around $3 million a year in profit to the county. And again, she's like, most of the director there, most of the people came from out of town, other surrounding counties, not just tourists like me, but like locals that aren't local, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, she had some really good tips. So, when we're at splash pads, they also volunteered these guys to come down and give us, walk us through it and look at our sites and do it for free without charging us. So, really excited about that. I was glad I got to do it. That's all for me tonight.
Well, thank you.
Oh, now I've broken it again. There's a wire underneath me and I break it all the time. I hit it with my foot and that's why your TVs go on.
I agree with the 4th of July parade. That was a good deal, and we've got to continue to work on that. And as we continue to do it downtown, it will become better and better. Pat on the back to the county manager on the dashboard where we are now. This is a huge step forward. Your coach, teach, train of the staff on how to do this is paying off and will pay huge dividends in the future. So thank you for being the guiding light on making this happen. This wasn't just everybody agreed that we're going to do this overnight. Trying to learn how to do pivot tables and everything else for your directors is a lot harder than some of the people even dreamed of.
Great team, sir.
Yes, you do. We have a behavioral crisis center that we service 7 counties in our community. I'm going to set up a time for us to go out and see it. It'll take less than an hour. We'll just meet over there, and everybody can just take a walk through, and see what it looks like. We take care of Henry, Lamar, a number of counties, so it's a good thing for us, and we should know something about it. Lastly, we have a number of meetings we need to solidify the dates on. We've got the telephone, isn't that one of the meetings?
Yes, sir.
And we've got the aquatic center.
Yes, sir.
We need a date. When's the next meeting we have?
It's the last Thursday of the month.
27th.
All right, the 27th. Can at least 3 of us be here for the 27th, and we'll do it in front of the public hearing? Let's say start at 4:30? 4 o'clock? James?
I will probably be out of the dentist by then.
Okay,
I got a 3 o'clock dentist appointment, so probably.
okay,
I take care of my teeth. Shouldn't take them that long.
okay. Ms. Quinn, are you available?
Her phone is off. She has her phone muted.
You should be able to unmute.
Okay,
Yes, 27.
let's,
I'll be in Germany.
yeah, she'll be out of the country.
She's got her phone muted.
Let's go ahead and schedule it for the 27th at, what time do you want, 4:30?
4:30 would be fine, yes, sir.
4:30 to be able to do this. Shouldn't take us very long to be
4:30?
able. 4:30.
I
So,
will send out the note.
yes, we'll send out a note and we'll get that done. I don't think that all 5 of us absolutely have to be here for that. All right? At this time, item number 12, executive session. Consider request to conduct an executive session for consultation with county attorney, other legal counsel, to discuss pending or potential litigation settlements, claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the county or any officer or employee, or in which the county or any officer or employee may be directly involved in, provided by OCGA 501421, and to discuss or deliberate on the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a county officer or employee as provided by OCGA 501436. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. We're in executive session. We will come back out at the end.
That's for your 2 ears, for you to know that, okay, since you're the only 2 that are here.
Is,
That's for you to know that, since you're the only 2 that are here.
Surprise, surprise.
Nobody stayed. I see here.
Do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved?
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 3-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 3-0. We're adjourned. Thank you.
So Rita, I hope you have a happy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes,
I hope that
20th.
your head stops hurting
Thank you.
and that you have a lovely trip.
Thank you so much.
She hurting?
Thank you for all three. Appreciate it.
Pet? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yeah. So you thought I was lying all those times. I know what you thought.